I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be worried about the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is A Difference of Opinion. And the reason why you might be running into a lot of people this week that are having a difference of opinion and not agreeing on things is because there are 6 planets in the mutable signs, all harshly squaring and opposing each other. Well, there's only 10 planets up there, so that's the majority of the planets that are in harsh aspect to each other. And there are 4 mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The 6 planets are in only 3 signs. And so that even impacts the harshness of the aspects more. And so what we have is the moon today, and Jupiter and Venus and Mars are all in Virgo, the sign of analysis. Remember, Virgo rules the traditional 6th house of work and health and service to others and accountability. Those 4 planets, which is a stellium of planets, when there are 4 or more planets in any one sign or house, it's called a stellium. And the reason why that can impact everybody's chart a lot is because when there's so many planets in a small space, it means there's another area of your chart that is really empty right now, where nothing is going on. And so the 4 planets in Virgo are being squared harshly by a very determined Saturn in Sagittarius. Saturn is a planet of delay or obstruction, and it is a planet that makes you work really hard, sometimes even twice as hard, in order to get results, but those results can be very long-lasting. And also Saturn is a planet that does not allow people to skip steps. And it is a planet that whenever it's in a person's sun sign, it's very hard to knock that person over because it's such a strong planet. But because it is squaring the 4 planets in Virgo, it simply means that it is squaring the moon and Mars, which is particularly Mars. That's a dangerous aspect because Mars is a dangerous, aggressive planet, and Saturn is a somewhat stubborn planet. And so push could come to shove somewhere in a health matter or in your work area right now. So you should be aware that there's differing opinions there. And then that Saturn in Sagittarius is also squaring a very powerful Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Pisces rules the traditional 12th house of hidden enemies, or of things going on behind the scenes that you are in denial about, or that other people are just not telling you. And so it can be quite difficult right now to know who to trust, or it can be that people are omitting information, and that can be rather misleading. And so you may not know how to quite reach an accurate conclusion from the fact that these 6 planets are squaring and opposing each other. So you'll have to be careful about your facts. And that's because the stellium of 4 planets is in Virgo, and Virgo rules facts and details and proven results. And so those are what we have to be really concentrating on right now. These 6 planets that are in harsh aspect by themselves are being trined by other planets that are reinforcing them. In other words, there's some good aspects going on too. Neptune in Pisces is being trined by both the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio right now. That's wonderful. Saturn in Sagittarius is being trined by Uranus in Aries, which means there can be a sudden breakthrough in one way or another, or sudden new starts that can come about, or surprising changes. And the 4 planets in Virgo are being beautifully trined by Pluto in Capricorn, making 5 planets in the sturdy earth signs, which are very good at solving problems. So that's where the emphasis should be now. However, even though a lot of people can be having differing opinions, which means you're going to have to allow extra time to try to reach an agreement or a consensus, because it's not going to happen too easily. But still, if you have a disciplined approach to making a dream come true, You might be able to do that right now, particularly if it had not worked out the first time. You could get a second chance. Why is that? It is because that wonderful Sun and Mercury in Scorpio, which is a fixed financial sign, ruling other people's money, or it can rule inheritance, debt, credit, taxes, grants, money coming in from any other source. Those two planets trining Neptune in Pisces simply means that you could focus on making a dream come true. And Neptune is about to go direct in a few weeks. It has been retrograde for months, but it can go direct soon, and that means you may get a second chance to make a dream come true. Because those three planets are also trining the sign of Cancer, and remember, all the water signs rule healing, there is the possibility that there is a opportunity coming up for you or your family to move or to be involved in some sort of real estate matter, since Cancer does rule real estate, but it also rules our feelings. So there can be some healing and forgiveness going on, which is wonderful. So if you are at a point where you don't know who to believe, and you may suspect that you're not being told the whole truth about something, I think that the truth is still around, that you can search for it by asking for a verification of facts or wanting to look at a track record of some sort. If you look at that and you are examining different factual details, you should be able to reach a good conclusion and come to the truth. Once you know the truth, then it's up to you to decide what to do with that, because it's still going to be a little bit hard to reach agreement with people who all have different opinions right now. So as I said, allow for delay if you can. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, there can be a little difference of opinion because Pluto in Capricorn, which is very strong, it's being backed by all 4 planets in Virgo, is squaring your sun sign where there is Uranus. These are the only 2 planets in cardinal signs right now. There aren't a lot of other planets in cardinal signs, which can bring you a little bit of relief, Aries. But at the same time, Pluto is so strongly aspecting Uranus in your sign that people in positions of management or of power can be insisting that you do things exactly according to the book. And so I think that if you refuse to observe the winds of change around you, Aries, then you may regret that in a couple of years. And the reason why is that first of all, there is change going on. There is a much more of an emphasis on being practical and doing what is affordable, not doing everything that you want, because, you know, you've got to put food on the table right now, and the emphasis is in earth signs. But also, Saturn in Sagittarius is trining your sun sign where Uranus is. And that simply means that Saturn is a planet that requires that everybody not skip steps and go back and do things right until they can do them very, very well. In the next 2 years, while Saturn is trining your sun, you may want to get a college degree, or you may want to increase your knowledge by getting an advanced certification or education in one way or another. And because the winds of change are blowing, Aries, I suggest that you really do that. It would require sacrifice, okay, and it would be a little bit hard, but it may elevate your skill level and prepare you for being able to move on at a higher level than you are right now. But if you decide not to adhere to the winds of change, in other words, keep doing just exactly what you're doing, you could run into a brick wall in 2 years, Aries. And that is because after Saturn leaves Sagittarius, where it's trining your sun, it will move into Capricorn along with Pluto, and they both will be squaring your sun, and that's when you could hit a brick wall. And so this is a time for you to decide, perhaps to notice what the winds of change are doing around you, and perhaps decide to change yourself. If you don't want to do that, Aries, you could be passing up a pretty good chance to increase your skill level, and then that would allow you to be in a better position 2 years from now when you will be challenged. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, there are a lot of people with differing opinions right now, and they are not all going to agree, but I don't think you're going to care about that at all, Taurus. And that is because there are 5 wonderful planets all trining your sun sign. And so I think you've got your mind on money and practical concerns and providing well. You could also have your mind on something pretty pricey right now, and that is because Pluto in Capricorn is trining your sun, which means management really can see how well you're doing and they appreciate your efforts. And then all 4 planets, that stellium of planets in Virgo, the Moon, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, are also all trining your sun. So it is the smaller, more thorough efforts that are being appreciated. And I think that if you have been just going along and doing things in a very reliable way, no fanfare about it, but if you are the person that everyone knows they can count on, then I would say your stock is certainly going up, Taurus, and you don't have to worry about how many different opinions everyone else has. I think you're sitting pretty, because I think you're going to be able to be seen in a wonderful light, and I think this is a time when you are very appreciated. And so keep up the good work, Taurus, because it's only work that's going to solve problems right now, so you've got to keep at it. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is simply a time, since yours is the 4th mutable sign, when you have to be really careful and be very understanding of others who don't agree with you at all. So don't try to push against anybody this week, Gemini. You won't get anywhere. And that is because the 4 planets in Virgo are squaring your sun. Saturn in Sagittarius is opposing your sun sign, and there will be a full moon in your sun sign at the end of the month with Saturn opposing it. And so that is why you need to sort of scale back your expectations if you can, or keep a very low profile for the rest of the month, Gemini, because I think there are too many disparate opinions around right now that are not in agreement with you. So I don't think you can sell your own point of view, because nobody's listening. They're all clinging to their points of view. And Neptune in Pisces is squaring your sun, and it's very strong right now. It's being trined by the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. So I think that there are plans that other people have right now that they're just not telling you about, Gemini. And that's why you need to stick to what makes you happy and what you can do in an easy way. And so don't try to rely on others right now, Gemini. Just go ahead and, just take one step at a time. You can still move forward, but do it all on your own, Gemini, so that you don't have to run into other people that can be rather disagreeable right now. Just sort of tune them out if you can, and go your own way, because you'll still make progress. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, I think things are looking up. They can be looking a little better right now, and that is because both the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio are trining your sun sign, and Neptune in Pisces is also trining your sun sign. It might be you that's thinking of a move, or you can be involved in some real estate matter right now, and there can be more money coming your way, or the news of an inheritance or a grant or increased credit right now, and all of that could be rather good news, which is nice, and that could allow you to make a dream come true if you want, because Pisces does rule dreams. So I think that if you sort of zero in on what will make you happy, I think that you could have the backing to go forward right now on something that you really know you're just born for, or that you know you can do if you only had enough time. Well, why don't you make the time, Cancer? Because I do think there is some money around to aid you in your quest right now, either for a nicer home, or for something that will please the family, or will please you by making a dream come true. So I would concentrate on that if I were you. And that is because I think there's some extra money coming your way, and I think that you'll put it to good use, so congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, I think that you are faced a little bit with the same old problem, and it is that both the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio are squaring your Sun. And Scorpio rules credit, debt, and financing, and loans, and taxes, and inheritance and insurance proceeds, and it rules the whole medical field and the military. So those costs can be going up a little bit. Or if you have been partying this summer when there was a grand trine in the fire signs and Jupiter was in your sun sign, you may have run up your credit limits a little bit, and you would still have to pay those off. And so that can be bothering you. But at the same time, there are 2 planets in the other fire signs that are both trining your sun sign. Saturn in Sagittarius is trining your sun sign, and that could be demanding that you get serious about something and make a commitment that would involve a sacrifice as well, but that could upgrade your stature for the rest of your life if you get serious about it. And also Uranus in Aries is trining your sun. It is retrograde, but it will go direct, and there can be some sudden new opening or sudden beginning coming your way. It's just that you really have to sort of get the monkey off your back, Leo, and make sure that you're on firm financial ground. And so you will have to pay down some bills right now. And even if you're only making a small payment, it's better than nothing. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, you are a powerhouse right now. And the reason why is there are 4 planets in your sun sign, and that is a stellium, and it is really hard to break that much power up. So nothing's going to stop you right now, Virgo. And that is because the moon is in your sign, but it is squaring Saturn exactly, meaning that parents are not seeing eye to eye or agreeing. But still, it is in your sign. And so is Jupiter and Venus and Mars. And they are all being trined beautifully by Pluto in Capricorn. So there are 5 planets in the earth signs. Because Pluto is trining your sun, that means management has taken notice of your efforts, and they do like what they see, or else you have a proven track record of excellence, and that's wonderful. But at the same time, it could make you sort of overdo things, Virgo, and that's because Mars is in your sign, and Saturn is squaring it, which is an element of danger. What kind of danger could you be facing, Virgo? You could be overdoing it a little bit, and there could be some threat to your health or to your mental attitude. You could be a little bit more high-strung and perhaps angry with people. But with Venus and Jupiter in your sign as well, I think that you can find ways to make yourself very happy right now, Virgo. So if I were you, I would just try to pace myself, because remember, the truth can be discovered as long as people just look at the facts and stop listening to a lot of different opinions. So I hope you're not doing that. Just go ahead in your methodical way and map things out and double check them twice, because I think you're going to do real well right now, Virgo. Just don't overdo it, because you don't want to get too tired or sick. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, something rather unusual is happening right now. There are no planets in any of the air signs, and that's odd. But so there's no planet in your sign because Mercury has moved on, and so is the Sun. They're right ahead of your sign in Scorpio. And you have 4 planets in Virgo right behind your sun sign. You also have 4 planets right ahead of your sun sign, but nothing in it. And so there's nothing trining your sun sign either. And so this is really not a time for people to come up with creative new ideas that someone's going to listen to. I don't think anybody's going to listen, Libra. So what you have to do, I think, is realize that you are surrounded by, your sign is surrounded by a bevy of planets that are very powerful right now in their own right. And so you've got a lot of backup, Libra. And also, if you want to try to move forward right now, you're going to have to do it somewhat slowly and carefully according to what you can afford. So this is a pay-as-you-go time, Libra. But I think that you can move forward. And if anybody's giving you a bad time, they better not do that, because there are 4 planets in Virgo right behind your sun sign, so you have tremendous backup right now. So if you get stuck in a problem, go and ask somebody that you know or that you're familiar with, or just ask a perfect stranger, because there will be answers around. And remember, we have to look at the facts in order to get the truth right now. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, the Sun and Mercury are both in your sun sign right now, so there should be some good news. Remember, Mercury rules news about a financial matter or about your financial standing, which is great. And also, those 2 planets are being trined beautifully by Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is about to go direct. It'll go direct about the middle of the month. And so once it goes direct, a lot of people who weren't quite able to make a dream come true the first time may get a second chance at that. And that could be you, Scorpio. And that is because I think that there is either going to be some more money around, you might get a raise, there may be an inheritance coming in, perhaps your insurance costs or insurance proceeds could be coming in, or a grant, or you could just have a little better credit rating right now. And so I think there is the possibility that you might be involved not only in making a dream come true and getting a second chance at that, but you may be thinking of a move or dealing with a real estate matter, and that would turn out to be somewhat successful right now, which is good. There are no planets in any of the other fixed signs. There's nothing stopping you, Scorpio, so I hope you just carefully move on and not listen to other people's opinion, but instead, since your sign rules discipline, be very disciplined about what you want, Scorpio, because I think this is a time, if you focus only on that, I think that you will be able to get it. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, this is a time, since yours is a mutable sign, and there are 6 planets in mutable signs, all harshly aspecting each other, that you have to be really careful. First of all, I wouldn't express too many opinions because no one's going to agree with you, Sagittarius, and that is because the moon today at 5 degrees of Virgo is exactly square Saturn in your own sign. So while you may be wanting to take the higher path or do the morally right thing right now, other people just want to talk about the nitty-gritty details of something and sort of get lost in that. So there can be a bit of disagreement or lack of consensus with people, particularly parents right now. And Mars in Virgo is also squaring Saturn in your sign, which means there can be somebody around who wants to make a power play, and they could override you at any time. You have to be very careful right now, Sagittarius. Venus and Jupiter are also in Virgo, squaring your sun sign, but when Venus and Saturn square or oppose each other, that can indicate a betrayal. So that is why you have to be very careful. And on top of that, Neptune in Pisces is squaring your sun sign, which means you may not know who to trust because people are not telling you the whole truth, or they can be deliberately evasive right now. So the truth is around, but you're going to have to dig for it. Or if you have been covering something up, you're going to have to sort of make amends for that, Sagittarius. And you may need to get out of a tight situation right now. You might be able to do that by suddenly going in a new direction. So you could try that out. Good luck, but be very careful this week. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when I think you benefit greatly from those 4 planets that are in Virgo trining Pluto in your own sun sign. It means that somebody with a good track record can be coming to you and asking for your opinion on things in order to get at the truth or to solve some problems. So I think that's what you're going to be involved with this week. Since Pluto is a planet of truth and power, this may be a time that when you have been very careful about looking at all the details, when you may want to start your own business, or you may want to better yourself in one way or another, and I think that you can do that. Or you can certainly improve your health, and particularly if you work hard at it. So this is a time when the planets are pretty much with you, Capricorn, because the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio are sextiling your Sun, and all 4 planets in Virgo are trining your Sun. So this is a time for you to make a decision, Capricorn, and whatever you decide, I think that now's the time to go for it because you've got a lot of support. And, the timing is everything. If we let our chances pass us by, all we're going to do is just get older, but not necessarily having our dreams come true or get better. And that's why you need to make a decision and go for it right now, because there is the possibility that a lot of people can make a dream come true the second time around. And that might include you, Capricorn, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, remember I said an unusual thing is happening? There aren't any planets in any of the air signs. And so, you know, there aren't a lot of creative new ideas floating around right now. And the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio are squaring your Sun. And that means there is some problem around about money, or debts, or credit, or taxes. And, you know, I think somebody is talking about wanting money, and or else there is a budget matter, and the money may not come to you right now, Aquarius. And that could be because people have to cut back on their budgets. Remember, there are 5 planets in the earth signs, and that means people are going to pare down their expectations to what they can really afford right now. And it might be that you suffer a bit of a financial setback or a delay of some sort, Aquarius, and you may not be able to actually get comfort anywhere because so many other people have differing opinions. So this is a time when you're a little bit on your own, and I wouldn't spend any money right now, Aquarius. You might need it later on. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, I think things are looking up for you too, because the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio are now beautifully trining your Sun where Neptune is, and Neptune is about to go direct in your Sun sign in a couple of weeks, and that simply means it's you, Pisces, that might be able to make a dream come true at last. And if it's something that you tried before and it didn't work out, maybe you'd have a chance to try it again. It wouldn't have to be right now, but it could be sometime this year when you might just give a dream another chance, Pisces, because I think this time, with a little bit extra money or support, you can make it come true. So I wish you the best. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.